2023 Honda CB650R. I just purchased this beautiful motorcycle. It is the Honda CB650R. And it has been so much fun to ride. I have just over 200 kilometers on it, maybe 300 by now. It's the end of May. I purchased it in April, but actually didn't pick it up till, I don't know, the middle of May this year. I traded in my Honda 2020 Rebel 300 earlier this year for this beautiful bike, and I did it all at Honda Wild in Hamilton. Dave is the guy to see over there if you're interested in Honda motorcycles. He actually came to Niagara Falls, which is where I live, to pick up my Rebel, and he brought it all the way back to Hamilton. And then a few weeks later, I went and picked up this beautiful, beautiful bike. I love it for many reasons. One, the seat is super comfortable compared to the Honda Rebel. My gluteal muscles, that's the group of muscles that make up the buttocks, would get very sore after a short period of time. However, the trade-off on this bike, because of the riding position on this bike, I'm a little bit more lean forward than I was on the Honda Rebel, which is more of a cruiser style bike and you're straight up. So on this bike, because I am slightly more lean forward, there's more pressure on my wrists. So then I end up having some knots in my trapezius muscles. But I guess that's what happens when you have a motorcycle and you're in a much more forward positions. There's more stress on the upper body, the neck and the shoulders. For me, this bike feels higher up on the ground and my legs are not crammed like they were on the Honda Rebel 300. This bike does weigh more than the Honda Rebel. I wrote that down. This bike weighs 445 pounds compared to the Rebel, which was 346 pounds. The Rebel, mind you, only had a top speed of 120 kilometers per hour. Honestly, on the Rebel, I think the most I got it up to was 110 because I felt that the bike was unsteady and started to shake at about 90 kilometers per hour. It didn't feel safe when I passed big trucks because the wind from the big trucks would really shake the bike. That was my experience riding the Rebel. I'm sure if somebody was more muscular riding the Rebel, the bike wouldn't shake as much, I'm guessing. The top speed of this bike is about 220 kilometers per hour. Mind you, I have not reached that speed on this bike. Not sure if I will. I'm not out to ride for speed. I'm out to ride simply for the joy of riding on these lovely country roads here that we have in Niagara Falls. That's not to say I won't go fast. Some of the protective accessories that I purchased in addition to the motorcycle include the underneath crawl and the radiator guard. Ouch, it's a little hot because I've been riding. I also purchased the windshield. It has a bit of a tint on it. And from Amazon, I purchased, there is a phone mount. I'll show you that in a minute. What else did I purchase for this bike? Oh, the 12 volt power charge, which I have a little USB port that I can plug into that. Now that is actually located under the second seat. Speaking of second seats, I really love this bike because I can take a passenger on the ride, which I've done already. Something to think about when you're riding this bike with a passenger is to click on the torque button. I learned that when you use the torque, the bike can carry heavier loads at more ease and with more speed. So it becomes a work performance type of a machine. This is the phone mount that I purchased from Amazon, and you can see when you lift it up, the phone fits right in here and it snaps back down and clicks right in. The phone mount is easy to install. Well, I don't know about that. It looks like it is. I just asked Honda if they could clip it on for me, and they did. They have great service over there. One other accessory that I purchased for this machine is this 40-liter top box. It's Italian made, Jivi. I think it's a great product. Check it out. I have some of my camera stuff packed in here, so it's quite full at the moment. However, I did test to see if the helmet does fit in here. This helmet, I tested it, actually fits right inside here. If this box wasn't filled with some of my stuff, the helmet would come down to here and the lid would close nicely, keeping the helmet nice and snug. The red is actually tape that Honda put on for me at my request. The 12-volt power accessory. And here I have the USB that plugs into it. You can actually wire it through this seat so that it comes up here. If you had a bag sitting right here, you can keep your phone in there and it's actually charged inside in here. Something else I thought that was neat was this tool that they have. Actually holds your helmet, so there's a little latch here, and then you put the second seat down and this part sticks out, and you could attach your helmet if you're having lunch somewhere so your helmet stays on the bike. I mean, mind you, it's not thief secure, but it does the job if you don't want to hang your helmet on top of your mirror. Tracker. Always good to know where your bike is when you forget. And then the seat literally just pops back on. All right, what else can I tell you about this bike? Let's see. Oh, one other thing. The stopping power on this bike. I did find so far that it's a bit slower than on the Rebel. When I would do an emergency stop on the Rebel 300, I felt that the bike stopped like that. On this bike, I'm finding that when I practice the emergency stop, I need more ground in order for the bike to stop, as it takes a bit longer. Other than that, both the Honda Rebel 300 and the CB650R both have 6 gears. I would totally recommend the Honda 300 for beginners. I love that bike. I got it in 2020. It's now 2023. It took me that long to really feel confident enough to upgrade to a mid-size, middleweight type of a bike. I'm very happy with this purchase. It feels solid for me. I feel secure on it. I feel like a big girl riding a big bike now. And yeah, I would totally recommend starting small on a 300 and then moving your way up. One of the things that's taking a while to adjust to is the weight of this bike. I find when I have to back up, it takes a bit more arm power and leg power for me because it simply has more than 100 pounds to it than the Honda 300 did. So a few things to take into consideration if you're a beginner and you want to upgrade to a middleweight bike.